Hey everybody, welcome to another deep dive. Today we're headed out to Yellowstone.
Yeah.
You know, geysers and bison and all that, but also a supervolcano.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some new research
Yeah.
that's come out recently that's showing some really crazy things that are happening down below.
Crazies?
And, it matters to all of us,
It really does.
even if we
Yeah.
don't live in Wyoming or Montana or whatever.
Right.
So, okay, let's unpack this a little bit.
Sure.
I was reading this Reddit thread, and it's about an article on sciencealert.com.
Oh, yeah. I saw that one.
Yeah, and it's about some research in nature.
Yeah.
And basically, they're using this technique called magnetotellurics
Magnetotelluric.
to map
Yeah.
the magma chambers underneath Yellowstone.
Mm-hmm. It's like an X-ray of the Earth.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it.
Yeah.
So we're going deep, literally.
Literally deep.
But I think before we get into those findings,
Okay.
I think it's helpful to kind of remind ourselves,
How powerful this supervolcano is. Remind us about Yellowstone's explosive past, these caldera-forming events.
Right. So picture this. You have eruptions so powerful
Okay.
that they leave behind a crater
Wow.
that's over 30 miles wide.
30 miles wide.
30 miles.
Yeah.
And Yellowstone has done this 3 times
Oh, wow.
in the past 2 million years.
That's incredible.
We're talking eruptions that are thousands of times larger than anything in recorded human history.
So that paints a pretty vivid picture.
Yeah.
And now scientists are mapping the magma
Right.
that could fuel the next one.
Yeah.
So tell us about these 7 distinct magma chambers they discovered.
Okay, so what's really striking is they found this massive concentration of rhyolite magma.
Okay.
It's that thick, sticky kind of,
Yeah.
and it's building up in the northeast quadrant of the caldera.
Okay.
And it's way more than in other areas.
Mm.
And get this, the volume is comparable to what was ejected in those past caldera-forming eruptions.
I bet that's raising some eyebrows.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Does this mean a massive eruption is imminent?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
You have to remember these processes unfold over geologic timescales,
Yeah.
not human ones.
Right.
Plus, researchers are still piecing together exactly how these different magma chambers interact
Okay.
to cause both the massive caldera-forming events
Huh.
and the smaller eruptions that Yellowstone is also known for.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
So it's more complicated than just one big pool of magma.
right. It's not just a giant pot of boiling rock ready to spill over.
Right, exactly. Well,
Yeah.
that makes sense. I guess it's kind of like
Yeah.
trying to predict when a pot of water is going to boil over based on a few bubbles.
Exactly.
Yeah. But speaking of, the people living and working around Yellowstone,
Oh, yeah.
what are they saying about all this?
Oh, it's a hot topic.
I bet that Reddit thread is buzzing.
Oh, it is definitely buzzing, let me tell you.
So what are people saying?
Well, one Redditor who actually works at Yellowstone pointed out something really interesting. They said that the thickness of the Earth's crust in that northeast region,
Okay.
where all that rhyolite is building up, might actually make a major eruption less likely.
Less likely.
Yeah, less likely.
Hmm.
How so?
Well, apparently it's like trying to pop a balloon
Uh-huh.
through a thick layer of cardboard.
Ah, so it's not just about how much magma there is.
Right.
It's also about the surrounding geology.
Exactly.
Well, that's reassuring.
At least for now.
For now, yeah, but I'm sure some folks are still a little on edge.
Oh, of course. I mean, who wouldn't be a little concerned when you hear about massive shifts happening beneath a supervolcano?
Right, it's totally natural to have some anxiety,
Yeah.
especially when you think about the potential scale of a super eruption.
Absolutely.
Wow, it really puts things into perspective.
It does.
It reminds us that even with all our technology and advancements, we're still at the mercy of these powerful forces.
We are very small.
Yeah, it's a reminder to stay humble.
And to keep learning as much as we can about these incredible natural phenomena.
Absolutely.
So let's dive into what this research means for our understanding of Yellowstone, its potential future,
Yeah,
and maybe even learn a bit about our own place on this ever-changing planet.
I like it. Let's dive in.
All right.
Okay, it really is amazing, isn't it?
It is,
Amazing.
yeah, we were talking about how researchers are still figuring out
Right,
how all these magma chambers interact
right.
to cause both the massive caldera-forming eruptions and the smaller ones.
Yeah, what's the latest thinking on that?
Well, one theory is that the smaller eruptions are actually a way for the system to release pressure.
Oh,
It's kind of like a pressure valve on a giant boiler.
I see.
So by letting off steam, so to speak,
Uh-huh.
it could actually reduce the likelihood of a catastrophic super-eruption.
So those smaller eruptions might actually be a good thing.
In a way, yeah, think of it like this.
Okay.
If you shake up a bottle of soda,
Right, the pressure builds up.
Uh-huh.
But if you slowly release some of that pressure by unscrewing the cap a bit,
Yeah.
you can prevent it from exploding all over the place.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
Right.
But what about that Redditor's point
Yeah.
about the thickness of the Earth's crust
Right.
in that northeast region?
Yeah.
Could that really prevent a major eruption?
It's certainly a factor.
Okay.
Remember, the crust acts as a barrier
Yeah.
containing the immense pressure of the magma beneath.
Uh-huh.
So in areas where the crust is thicker,
Okay.
it's more difficult for the magma to break through.
So it's like a giant pressure cooker
Exactly.
with varying thicknesses on the lid.
Yeah.
Like some spots might be more prone to blowing off than others.
Exactly. And in the case of Yellowstone,
Okay.
that northeast quadrant,
Uh-huh.
where that large rhyolite magma body is located,
Yeah.
seems to have a particularly thick lid.
That's got to be reassuring for the people who live and work there.
I would think so.
But what about the long term? I mean,
Right.
this hot spot isn't going anywhere anytime soon.
Absolutely not. The Yellowstone hotspot is a fixed feature,
Okay.
but the North American plate is slowly drifting over it.
I see.
In fact, if you look at the geologic record,
Yeah.
you can actually trace the path of the hotspot
Wow.
over millions of years.
Wait, are you telling me that Yellowstone's eruptions
Yeah.
have left a trail across the continent?
Precisely, that trail is marked by a series of volcanic features,
Wow.
including ancient caldera's lava flows,
Mm.
even geysers.
Wow.
The Snake River Plain, which stretches across Idaho,
Yeah.
is a prime example.
Wow. So what's next?
Well,
Will the hot spot eventually
eventually,
move out from under Yellowstone?
but we're talking about geological timescales here.
Right.
It'll take millions of years
Okay.
for the hotspot to completely shift its position.
So Yellowstone might one day be just another scenic landscape with no threat of a super eruption.
Not exactly, just another scenic landscape.
Okay.
Remember those volcanic features left behind by the hotspot?
Right.
Will continue to shape the landscape
Yeah,
for millions of years to come.
that's true. Yeah. And who knows what new wonders might arise
Exactly.
as the hot spot continues to interact with the North American plate.
It's a fascinating thing to think about.
It is. Speaking of fascinating
Right.
things,
Yeah.
I got to ask about something
Uh-huh.
that's been popping up in that Reddit thread.
Okay.
What about harnessing Yellowstone's geothermal energy?
Oh, yeah.
Is that even feasible?
It's a fascinating idea.
It does.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yellowstone sits atop a massive geothermal system
Right?
with incredible amounts of heat energy,
Yeah.
just waiting to be tapped.
It sounds like a clean energy dream.
It does, doesn't it?
But I imagine there are some risks involved.
Oh, you're absolutely right.
Right, we're talking about a supervolcano here.
Yeah, drilling into a supervolcano
Yeah.
is a risky proposition.
Right.
And any attempts to manipulate the geothermal system could have unintended consequences.
Like triggering an eruption.
That's a possibility,
Okay.
although the likelihood is hotly debated among scientists.
Oh, really?
Yeah, some argue that the sheer scale of Yellowstone's magmatic system
Yeah.
makes human intervention negligible,
Okay.
while others are more cautious.
So it's a balancing act
It is.
between the potential benefits of clean energy
Yeah.
and the potential risks of disrupting a powerful natural system.
Absolutely.
And it's a decision that shouldn't be taken lightly.
No, it should. We need to carefully weigh the scientific evidence,
Right.
the ethical considerations, and the potential impact
Yeah.
on the environment and surrounding communities.
It's a reminder that scientific exploration isn't just about discovering new things.
Right.
It's also about understanding the implications of those discoveries
Yes.
and using that knowledge responsibly.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
From the intricate dance of magma chambers beneath Yellowstone to the potential benefits and risks of geothermal energy.
Yeah.
But there's one more aspect of this story I'd like to explore.
Okay.
The human element.
The human element.
Yeah. How are people reacting to all this news about Yellowstone? What are they saying on Reddit? What are their hopes, their fears, their jokes?
Yeah.
I think it's important to delve into those perspectives, too.
I agree.
Yeah, it's like, it's fascinating to see how people react to this kind of news.
Yeah.
It's like a real mix, like
Yeah.
a little bit of the end is nigh
Yeah.
mixed with some like dark humor and like a healthy dose of like science, please explain,
Yeah, yeah. It's a real mixed bag.
Yeah, I was scrolling through the Reddit thread and people are sharing everything from like doomsday prepper tips
Oh, yeah.
to memes about Yellowstone ruining their vacation plans. It's like,
Gotta find a way to laugh about it.
yeah, it's like this collective coping mechanism, like processing this information through humor.
Right.
And sometimes a little bit of fatalism.
Yeah, I think that's natural.
Yeah. But amidst all that,
Mm-hmm.
you see this genuine curiosity too.
Mm-hmm.
People asking insightful questions, wanting to understand the science behind it all.
Yeah, it shows you that even when faced with like these potential threats,
Right.
humans have this innate desire to like learn and make sense of the world around them.
I think that's a really good point. And it seems like a lot of people are finding comfort in the fact that scientists aren't predicting an imminent eruption.
Right. Like, okay, Yellowstone might blow someday.
Right.
But probably not in our lifetime.
Exactly.
So let's focus on understanding it better.
Right.
So that future generations are prepared.
I think that's where the real value of this research lies.
Absolutely.
Right. It's not about predicting the exact date of the next eruption. It's about, building a deeper understanding of how these systems work.
Exactly.
The more we know,
Right.
the better equipped we'll be to manage the risks.
For sure.
And, potentially even harness the incredible energy that's beneath Yellowstone.
Yeah. There's a lot of potential there.
It's a reminder that scientific exploration is a journey, not a destination.
Well said.
It's about constantly refining our understanding, asking new questions, pushing the boundaries of what we know.
Absolutely. And who knows what amazing discoveries are still waiting to be uncovered.
Yeah.
As we continue to delve deeper into Yellowstone's secrets,
Yeah.
we might find solutions to energy challenges, gain insights into the evolution of our planet,
Right.
and maybe even learn a thing or two about ourselves along the way.
That's a really great point.
Yeah,
So to our listeners, I think the takeaway here is simple but profound.
I agree.
Stay curious. Keep exploring and never underestimate the power of both nature and human ingenuity.
Well said. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.